I don't know the difference between prose and poetry. I'm probably an idiot for saying that. Neil Gaiman's my boy. You know what, to be honest with y'all, I'm not really sure why I decided to buy this. Hey y'all, my name is Meyer. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a ginormous book haul. I have over 30 books to talk about today, and I am scared because I'm afraid that this video is going to be like an hour long. Let's just get into it. I'm probably not going to give extensive summaries for each and every one of these books because again, there are just so many of them to haul today, and I just don't have the brain capacity to do that. So I'll tell you guys a little bit of what I know, if it was a gift, who gave it to me, etc. Speaking of gifts, I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much to anyone who has ever sent me a book. Like, when I tell you guys that I am so incredibly grateful and like I just feel overwhelmed with love and positivity, like I just can't believe that anyone, literally anyone, would ever want to send me a book. And I am seriously so grateful to you if you have, grateful to you if you haven't. Like seriously, just you being here and supporting my channel honestly means the world to me. I actually don't have all the books that were gifted to me or all the books that I hauled in this video. I'm probably going to have to do a second book haul. I left some of my books at home because I'm currently in my college dorm and I really just don't have the space for them. So if I have already read them, then I actually didn't have the chance to bring them with me. So if you don't see your book here, I'm sorry, I do have it. I'm so grateful for you. And I'm going to be linking everyone's channel down below who has gifted me a book. So if you aren't subscribed to all of these lovely people in the description, please go do so. I am seriously, they're all great. So the first two books were actually very graciously sent to me by Sharon. So thank you so much, Sharon, for sending these to me. I'm so grateful. She actually just started a YouTube channel, which I will link down below, of course, so go check it out. But the first book that she sent me was Renegades by Marissa Meyer, and this is by the same author of Cinder, and what I know about it is it's a YA fantasy series, and it's set in the world of superheroes, so it's kind of Marvel-esque. And I was told that if I was going to like any of Marissa Meyer's books, that I would probably like Renegades the most, so I wanted to give this one a chance. I've heard really great things about it, and I'm super excited to dive into it. Sharon also sent me an Ember in the Ashes, which I am so excited for, and I'm actually going to be reading this in an upcoming video, so stay tuned for that. I am so excited to start this series. I think it's Roman-inspired YA fantasy, and it just sounds so good. I know there's so much hype around this book series because the last book just came out. I'm actually going to be reading this with Sharon, so again, thank you so much for gifting this to me. I'm so excited to dive into this book with you. The next book was graciously gifted to me by my dear friend Em from Bookish Potatoes. She gifted me The Gilded Wolves, and she said we have to buddy read this together, so I am so excited to pick this up hopefully in the next few months and read this with her. I actually don't know that much about this, but I know a lot of people on Twitter tweet about it, and a lot of people are like diehard fans for this book series, and I'm really excited. I know that it has something to do with the heist. I've heard some comparisons to Six of Crows, and I just have been told that I'm going to love this, so I'm super excited. Thank you so much, Em, for sending this to me. I love you. The next book that I received was very graciously gifted to me by my dear friend Katie from Katie Can't Read. She sent me, spoiler alert, and this is a plus-size adult romance following a female protagonist who writes fan fiction of the male interests show. And there's also a secret that gets revealed by the male love interest that makes it a little bit spicy. And I've just heard great things about this. I've heard great things about the plus size representation in this book, and it just sounds like a really fun time. I love the premise of this story, and I can't wait to read it. So thank you, Katie, for sending this to me. The next book was very kindly sent to me by my friend Brandon from Brandon and Books. He actually doesn't have a YouTube channel, but I will link his bookstagram in the description below. You should go check it out. I love all of his photos and his reviews. They're wonderful. He sent me A Man Called Uwe by Frederick Bachman, and I'm so incredibly blessed to receive this copy from him. I'm so freaking grateful because I have all of Frederick Bachman's books physically now, and I'm just so excited. I actually did haul this copy of A Man Called Uwe as well. I did actually pay for this one. This was the UK edition when I saw it in a half price books, and I absolutely loved it. I had never seen this cover before, so I had to buy it. So now I have 2 copies of A Man Called Uwe, and I absolutely am obsessed with that. Like, this is like one of the only books that I have 2 copies of. It's not my favorite Frederick Bachman, but it is the first Frederick Bachman that I ever read, and I'm so grateful to this story because it has really just done a lot for me in terms of like my reading, and like all my favorite books are Frederick Bachman books now, and I really do love A Man Called Uwe. So I'm really excited that I own these now and I can tab this and have my Frederick Bachman collection complete. So thank you, Brandon. Brandon from Brandon and Books actually did give me The Secret History as well. I went in one of his flash giveaways. The Secret History is a dark academia classic. Again, I don't know anything about this, but me and Brandon are actually going to be buddy reading this together, so I'm very excited to have this, and I just feel like like I'm going to love this. Like, I feel like the vibes are gonna be immaculate in this one, and I'm so excited to dive into it. The next two books were very kindly sent to me by Michael, so thank you so much, Michael, for sending these my way. The first book that he sent me was Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, and obviously I'm thrilled to have this. This is my favorite book of the year, one of my favorite books of all time, and I absolutely adored it. If you don't know what Anxious People is about, it follows this bank robber who breaks into an apartment showing and holds all these people at the apartment showing hostage. And it's such a beautiful story following all these characters, and you just really get to see what humanity is about and all these different sides to humanity, which is what I absolutely love. So I'm so grateful to have this. Thank you so much, Michael. The next book that was sent to me by Michael was The Midnight Library, and I'm actually going to be reading this in January as well. I am so excited to have this. I've heard amazing things about it. I don't know too much about it. Actually, I believe it's just like a literary fiction novel with a focus on mental health, and there's supposed to be some magical and whimsical elements to it. Again, have heard nothing bad about this book. So excited to read it. So thank you, Michael, for sending this one to me as well. The next book I have actually already read, which is Bunny by Mona Awad. This was very kindly sent to me by my friend Naima. So thank you so much, Naima, for sending this to me. I have already read it. Actually, I gave it 4 stars. And what I would say about Bunny is that don't have any expectations for this book because it is weird. I don't really know what happened in this book to this day, and I just read it. And that's not because I like forgot everything, but just because everything in this book was very unexpected and bizarre. So Bunny follows a young woman named Samantha who's in college, and she sent an invitation to join this society called Bunny. Well, they're not really called Bunny, but they call themselves Bunny. Very interesting. It's a very interesting read. I highly recommend reading this if you want something very different and unique. I have not read a book like this before except Catherine House. I know there's a lot of comparisons to those two, but this is definitely very different from Catherine House. The next book was very kindly sent to me by Vish from Books with V. Thank you so much, V, for sending me The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is one of my favorites of the year, and I'm so excited to own this and to reread it one day. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue follows a young woman named Addie who makes a deal with the devil to live forever, but the catch is that no one who encounters her will remember her. And then one day she goes to a bookstore and someone remembers her name, which never happened before. And so it follows Addie's story as well as the person who she meets in the bookshop story, and it is just so magical and whimsical and heartbreaking, and I loved everything about this. So thank you so much to V for sending this to me. The next book was very graciously sent to me by Morgan from Morgan's Chaotic World. Morgan, I literally love you so much. Thank you so much, because she actually sent me The Toll by Neil Shusterman, which is the last book in the Arc of a Scythe trilogy. This is actually probably one of the next books that I'm going to be picking up because I just finished Thunderhead, the second book in the series, and I am so excited to continue and see what the end of the series is like. The Arc of a Scythe trilogy is about this utopian society where death has been eradicated and the only way to die is by someone called a scythe. And so this is just such a unique world, and I love these characters, and I'm so excited to see what happens in the conclusion of this book. So thank you so much, Morgan, for sending this to me. You're literally the best. This next book was very kindly sent to me by Nat from Nerdy Nat Reads. Nat is a booktuber that I love to watch. She is so sweet. I love her vlogs. I love all of her videos. Nat actually sent me Get a Life Chloe Brown, which again is one of my favorites of the year. I absolutely love this book, and I'm so excited to own this because now I get to reread it and fall in love with this love story all over again. So thank you so much, Nat, for sending this to me. I love this book so much. I love this entire trilogy so much. I've read all 3 of them, and Get a Life Chloe Brown holds a very special place in my heart because it is one of the first books that got me into adult romance. And I haven't read a ton of adult romance, or at least as much as I would have liked to in this year, but this book is definitely the reason why I even picked up more adult romance. Like, this was the catalyst for everything for me. I loved this book with my entire heart. Redford Morgan is literally the best book boyfriend ever. He is so caring and loving and understanding, and oh my god, I love him so much. And I love Chloe. She's a fantastic protagonist. So if you're wondering what Get a Life Chloe Brown is, it is essentially a love story between Chloe and Redford Morgan, and it's just so cute. Chloe essentially runs into a near-death experience at the beginning of this novel, and she decides that she needs to get a life because she feels like she hasn't been living life to the fullest. And so with her near-death experience, she's like, you know what, I'm gonna make a list. I'm gonna check all these things off that list, and I'm gonna get it done because I don't want to be living half a life. And then she meets Redford Morgan, and it's just really, really cute. I highly recommend Get a Life Chloe Brown if you're looking for an introduction to adult romance. And the last book that was sent to me was from my good friend Nicole from Nicole Reads. I love Nicole, so please go check out her channel if you haven't yet. Nicole actually sent me Furyborn, which I am so excited for. This is a book that I've seen all over Book Talk, and it's one that I think is more underhyped in the booktube community. I don't see a lot of of people talking about this, but every time I see it, I'm like, I want to read that immediately. I'm actually going to read the summary for this one because I think that this one needs more hype on booktube, and so I want you guys to know what this book is about. Two young women, centuries apart, hold the power to either save their world or doom it. When assassins ambush her best friend, Rial Dardine risks everything to save him, exposing herself as one pair of prophesized queens, a queen of light and a queen of blood. To prove she is the Sun Queen, Rial must endure 7 elemental magic trials. If she fails, she'll be executed, unless the trial kills her first. The legend of Queen Rial is a fairy tale to Elena Ferricora. A bounty hunter for the Undying Empire, Elena believes herself untouchable until her mother vanishes. To find her, Elena joins a rebel captain and discovers that the evil at the Empire's heart is more terrible than she's ever imagined. This sounds so good. This sounds amazing. I'm so excited to read this and buddy read it with Nicole. So thank you so much for sending this to me. You're seriously amazing. So these are all the books that were very kindly sent to me. Thank you guys so much. Like seriously, I don't even know what I did to deserve this. Like I don't deserve this if I'm quite honest. I'm blown away by everyone's support and everyone's friendship. Like I literally can't handle it. So thank you so much for sending a book my way. If you ever have, if you've ever watched my channel, I just want to like reinforce how grateful I am because like y'all mean the world to me. This channel means the world to me. I love talking to you guys about books every single day. So thank you. Now I do actually have another stack of gifted books that I want to go through really quickly. These were all gifted to me by my friends and my family for Christmas. So I'm going to briefly touch on them. First of all, I am actually currently reading A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. I'm like 60 pages into it, but this was very graciously sent to me by my boyfriend. So thank you so much. Now this is actually the sequel to From Blood and Ash and it is huge. I feel like I'm gonna accidentally hurt myself when reading this book because like my fingers, like I literally can't hold this book up. It's so heavy. I really did enjoy From Blood and Ash, which is the first book in this series. And it's an adult fantasy romance series following a maiden named Poppy in this kingdom and her guard Hawk. And it's just a lot of fun. It's spicy. We love a good time. And I'm very excited to have this one. So thank you so much to my boyfriend for giving this to me for Christmas. My boyfriend also kindly gifted me Legendborn by Tracy Dion. And everyone knows I love this book. This is one of my favorites of the year. And I am so excited to have this in my possession and to be able to reread it because this is one I think about all the time and one that I constantly want to reread. So I'm very, very grateful that I have the opportunity to. Legendborn follows a young girl named Bree whose mother dies in a car accident. And then she goes to an early college program where she sees something weird that she thinks might be connected to her mother's death, and it launches her into this secret society inspired by King Arthur. And I love this book. It's a YA fantasy series that's just getting started, and again, I'm just so excited to continue on with it. Then for my family, I was gifted the Inheritance games, and I'm very excited to be reading this. I've heard some mixed reviews on it, but also a lot of people that I really trust their reviews on really love this book, so I'm not losing hope. What I know about this one is that it's a Knives Out / Cinderella retelling, and that just sounds amazing to me. I know there's like a murder mystery element, and the thing that maybe people are questionable about is the relationship in this. I don't know, don't hold me accountable for that, but this cover is gorgeous, so I'm excited to own it anyways and excited to read it one day. Then I received The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White, and I'm so excited to read this, but again, I've heard mixed reviews on it. As soon as I was gifted it, everyone was like, oh, I didn't really like that. So I'm scared, but I'm very excited. Again, what I know about this one is that it is a King Arthur inspired retelling following Guinevere, and I believe there's like a female-female relationship, and there's also a love triangle, and it just sounds amazing. I love me a good King Arthur inspired story, as you can probably tell, and so I'm very excited to dive into this one. Then my family also gifted me Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, which is a graphic novel series following two boys in high school who were falling in love, Charlie and Nick, and I absolutely love Heartstopper, and I can't wait to have all 4 volumes of it. I really do love this graphic novel series. There's also a webcomic, so you can read it for free if you'd like. I'll link that in the description down below if you're interested in checking it out. And I am just so excited to own this because I want to reread Heartstopper all the time, but I feel like there's something really special about like holding it and like just seeing everything in my hands happen. And so I'm very excited to be rereading this because it's gonna be happening a lot probably. Whenever I get sad, you know what I'm just gonna do? Pull out Heartstopper. The last 2 books that my family gifted me were Check Please Volume 1 and then Check Please Volume 2. This graphic novel series follows a young man named Biddy who is entering his first year of college, so it follows him throughout his 4 years at university, and at college he plays hockey on the hockey team, and Biddy is just the cutest cinnamon roll of a character. He is a blogger, he loves to bake, and it's just such a great story following a bunch of friends. I love the cast of characters in this book. book. There's also a really wonderful male-male relationship in this one, and I just love this graphic novel series. And again, I'm just so excited to own them because whenever I get sad, I'm just gonna pull out Check Please because it is an instant serotonin boost. Those are all the books that I was very graciously gifted. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like, thank you so much. Now I want to talk very quickly about a few books that I got from Little Free Libraries. So the first one that I got was And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. I actually do have a video planned for this, but it's not going to be coming out until like May or June most likely. So I'm excited to have this because this is Agatha Christie's like most famous work. I've heard incredible things about the ending in this one, and this is just an OG like murder mystery story. And I read one other Agatha Christie. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, but I'm excited to read this one because hopefully if I do love it, I can read more of her books. Then I also got Where'd You Go, Bernadette, and I don't know anything about this one, but I remember reading the synopsis one time and I was like, oh, I want to read that. And then I never thought about it again, but then I saw it at a Little Free Library, so I went ahead and grabbed it because it was free. I also got The Rosie Project, which I believe has something to do with like genetics. And I read the synopsis at the Little Free Library. I was like, okay, so this sounds really interesting. And also it was in like really good condition, so I just couldn't pass up on it. And the last book that I got from a Little Free Library is probably the most exciting like thing I've ever found in a Little Free Library. And that is actually Each of Us a Desert by Mark Oshiro. And this is actually the advanced reader copy of this book. And so there's like a little note in the front with like information about the book. And I am just like shook that I found this at a Little Free Library because I didn't even think I would be able to find ARCs there, let alone a book that just came out that I am super interested in reading. I think I put this on a TBR a few months ago and there hasn't been a lot of discussion about this book on BookTube. I read Mark Oshiro's other book, Anger is a Gift, and I really did like it. I thought that it packed a punch for a YA contemporary, and I think it is a really important story. I'm very shocked that I found this at a Little Free Library, and I'm so excited to read this. So there's actually 10 books here that I've bought myself. Well, there's technically 11 because I did buy this edition of A Man Called Uwe as well. All of these books I tried to buy at bargain deals and like bargain stores. So I don't think that I paid full price for any of these, which is the good news. I try really hard to not buy books at full price because like I just can't afford that. I can't be affording to buy all these books. And I also try to not buy books before I've actually read them unless I think that it is a good deal on the book or if I think it's a book that I'm absolutely going to love. The first few books I actually all got from Ollie's, and if you want to see like me book shopping at Ollie's, I actually did show a little bit of that in my Enneagram 1 video, so I'll link that in the cards as well as in the description for you to go check out. The first book that I got was Long Way Down, and this was $3, so I had to buy it. I had to, like, come on guys. This is actually, I believe, told completely in prose or completely in poetry. I don't know the difference between prose and poetry. I'm probably an idiot for saying that, but like I actually don't know the difference. So someone please enlighten me. This is one that I've heard really great things about, and apparently it takes place in the span of 1 minute. So I'm definitely excited to see what this one holds. I know it does pack an emotional punch, and it's won all these awards. Like, come on. I think it'll be great. And I'm really excited to read this because I haven't heard of a story like ever taking place over such a small span of time. I've heard of stories like taking place in the span of a day or a couple hours, but 1 minute is probably really hard to accomplish. So I'm excited to see how this author does that. The next book that I purchased was also from Ollie's, and it was $3 as well. It was The Breakdown by B.A. Paris. And you know what, to be honest with y'all, I'm not really sure why I decided to buy this because I didn't really enjoy Behind Closed Doors, which is another book by B.A. Paris, but I saw it for $3 and I was like, oh, I recognize this author, and then I got really excited and then I decided to buy it. So I don't know if I'm going to love this one, so hopefully I do, and I didn't just buy this book for no reason. This is going to be a thriller, and I had to purchase it when I saw it was $3. Okay, I am a weak person, okay. I also purchased Watching You by Lisa Jewell at Ollie's. This one was $4, and I've heard great things about Lisa Jewell, so I'm excited to see if I like her writing style, if I like her books. I know that she does focus on domestic thrillers, which I've found I don't always love, but I do know that she's a very popular thriller author, so I'm excited to see what she has in store in Watching You. And the last book that I bought at Ollie's was The Death of Miss Westaway by Ruth Ware, and this one was $4, so duh. I had to. And it's hardcover, like it's just in such good condition. How could you pass up on that for $4? Like books like this usually run like $25 at Barnes & Noble. I really did myself a favor there by buying this, you know what I'm saying? Again, I don't know anything about this one. I've heard it's one of Ruth Ware's like weaker works, but I did actually purchase Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, and I do know that this one is like her most popular one. Everyone seems to absolutely love this book, and so I'm very excited to dive into this one. I believe it has some paranormal elements to it, but I could be wrong and could be making that up. So not completely sure about this one, but I am so excited to read this. I love the cover also, that it's like so reflective. I think that's so cool. I also purchased Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. This is one of the only Neil Gaiman books that I haven't read or owned, so I'm very excited to dive into this one. I don't even know if this is like a story or if it's like a collection of Norse mythology. Why can't I say Norse? But again, I needed to have this because Neil Gaiman's my boy, so I had to support him and get this book and read it one day, hopefully in 2021. I also purchased Call Me By Your Name, and I don't know anything about this either, but I know there's a movie that people really love, and I know that a lot of people really do love this book. I have heard though that this book is problematic. I heard about that after I purchased it, which is very unfortunate. I would not have purchased it if I had known, but I do have this book, so I am going to be reading it at some point. I have heard either great things about it, people either love this book or they really hate it, so we'll see where I lie on the spectrum with that one. I also purchased myself Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman because I read Scythe and I loved it so much that I needed to have Thunderhead immediately, so I've already read this one as well. I actually finished it a couple days ago, but again, this is the second book in the Arc of a Scythe trilogy, and I really did like this book. I gave it a 3.75 out of 5-star rating, and it made me excited to finish the series and read the total. The last book that I'm actually going to be hauling, we've made it to the end, congratulations, we're almost done, but the last book that I purchased was really exciting to find, and I just could not pass it up because at a Half Price Books, I actually found All the Stars and Teeth, but it's the Fairy Loot edition. No, it's not. It's the Owl Crate edition, and so this one I believe is a little bit greener than the conventional cover. I'll try and put like an original picture here if you guys want to spot the difference, but this one has like green and purple accents where I believe the original cover has like blue and blue accents. So super cool find, and it was only like $8. So how could I say no? How could I? I just love this cover. I think it's so pretty, and it's even prettier in the special edition. And I know that this is a YA fantasy series that is supposed to be a duology, and it has mermaids and pirates in it. That is it for this book haul. I do not think that I could lift all these books up, even if I physically tried to, because there are just so many and I just don't go to the gym enough. So it's not gonna happen. But I am so grateful again to anyone who has ever sent me a book. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys seriously mean the world to me, and I don't know how many more times I can say that, but like it just blows my mind that anyone has ever sent me a book or ever wanted to send me a book or like watched one of my videos. Like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Like, I'm not an interesting person. I don't have interesting content. Thank you for watching this video. If you guys made it this far, don't forget to like this video if you liked it. It would really support me and my channel, and also subscribe down below for more book related content. I post twice a week. I also have my Instagram, Twitter, Goodreads, Amazon wishlist, all that good stuff in the description down below if you're interested in checking it out. And yeah, that's all I have for this video. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!